welcome Cher. Thank you for joining us. Again, she is a Grand Master Teacher at Master Sha's Global Center based in Toronto. She is one of the co-leaders of the Tao Song training program. It's a certification program through Tao Academy. And she's a longtime friend. I've known her for 18 years. We grew up together in Master Sha's organization. Welcome, Cher, and let me ask the question. So in the video, you said your heart opened, you wanted to bring out your soul song. Okay, so I did the same thing. I didn't go to certified Tao song singer. So what made you decide to do that? And what did it take for you to accomplish that? Because you were not a singer. You said that on the video. It's not like you had been singing your whole life. I mean, yeah, we sang with the radio, but you're not a natural singer, natural born singer. But your soul song is beautiful. And we're going to give people a taste of that tonight. So what inspired you to get certified as a Tao song singer? And then what did it take? What did it take?
Jimena, thank you so much. And hello, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be back here again. And to see everyone, on the live stream and your sharing. I'm so happy to be connected with the Vancouver Center again. It's been a while since I've been out to Vancouver, but the center has always held a special place in my heart. We are two centers in Canada, and we're sister centers. And Jimena and I are sisters, and I'm sisters with all the beautiful master teachers I see here in front of me. So, I think what happened, Jimena, for me around really connecting deeply with my Tao song, with my soul song, was in those moments, when I was feeling like my life was over. And unless, I was going to find somebody who was going to help me, that was it for me. I really did feel lost. And somehow the whole experience of course, finding Master Sha, seeing him in the vision, meeting him, having him offer me blessings, giving me all the tools and practice treasures that I needed to recover, something switched inside of me. And that something gave me courage, gave me a kind of courage that I had not had before. And I'd accomplished things in my life. It wasn't that I hadn't, but it was a new kind of courage and determination that I had so much life to live in this one lifetime. And I was just going to take in everything that Master Sha had to offer me. And if he told me that I could be a Tao song singer, then I was going to be a Tao song singer. And, his blessing, had proven to be so effective for me that I believed I could become a Tao song singer. And so the courage, that had been, and the fire that had been lit inside of me, then his blessing, his pronouncement, you can do this, you can be this. And I was like, well, he said I can, so I can. So, I went about doing it and really didn't think about it too much, to be honest with you. I just committed to the practice and to the teachings, and it happened. And that can, be true for all of us.
I've known you 18 years. This is the first time we've actually had this conversation. And I want to say how much I honor you, because I noticed over the years that that's exactly what you did. As Master Sha would say, okay, now we're going to do this. Okay, no, we're going to China. Okay, we're going to China. So we didn't, I was like, I've never been there, don't know what to expect, but he's asking us to go to China, we're going to China. So we, all did whatever it was that we needed to do to get there and back. And then we did all of the different training programs, the herbs, the songs, the dance. Do you remember coming back from China? Every night we had to do 1 hour of Tao dance. And I watched you do this consistently, because many of us, we come back, we're like really excited, we do it, and then, like myself, I do it and then let it go. Something comes up and I let it go. But I have admired this in you. Your consistency in doing whatever it is that Master Sha asked until you accomplish it. So what did it take to become a certified Tao song singer?
Yes, well, practice, practice, practice. And that level of commitment, I can't say that honestly that I am a really disciplined person, but when there's something that I love, when there's something that I connect to, I do put the effort into it. I've learned that in order to be good at something, you have to put the time and the effort into it. But the thing, and I said this earlier, the thing that Master Sha did for me that allowed me to commit to, daily practice, and daily commitment was he opened my heart in a way that my heart had never been opened before, and I love people, people love me, I've always felt that I had somewhat, open, somewhat of an open heart. But I realized just how much it was not open until Master Sha, helped to open it for me and helped me to develop that, the compassion and compassion, of course, for others, but also compassion for myself, so that I could forgive my flaws, my failures, not being successful at things, trying things again and again and again, but knowing that if I put the effort in, if I put the time in, and knowing that if I did, that somehow it was going to be of service, that it was well worth it. And that I really couldn't fail. And that was the other part, I realized that there was no failing. There was just trying things, and sometimes mistakes were made and sometimes successes were made. And I found a new kind of acceptance of myself also that I had not had before. And so it took practice, it took training, it took, a certain level of commitment. And really knowing that, developing that part of myself was also healing. And it was going to help others to heal as well eventually. And all of that just allowed me to take the time, spend the time with it. So consistency, commitment.
So I admire that. I still say, I admire that, because so many people, we've seen so many people come in the 18 years you've been here, 21 years I've been on this journey, on this path. Many people have come and have left. So let's talk a little bit about the workshop. And I know we only have a few minutes left with you. So I want to talk a little bit about this workshop. You and I work with people who have chronic conditions. And one of the conversations you and I had is that usually when somebody comes and they have, for instance, a diagnosis of cancer, they get a diagnosis of having clogged arteries. That is the crisis. Once they get past the crisis, then the real work needs to take place, because then what's underneath, what caused the clogged arteries to manifest, what caused the cancer to manifest, needs to be transformed. And some people step in, they lean in, right? There's people, Cheryl, I can't think of her name, the woman who was a CEO for Facebook. You lean into it. Some people lean into it, and some people jump out. Yeah. And the conversation you and I had went on to many people have been holding on. They've been holding on to pain for so long. Talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about your experience working with people, helping them to release that, and just a little bit about what we're going to do next Saturday. Because we have next Wednesday, you're going to be back. And next Wednesday, we have you for the whole hour. And so we'll have a lot more time. But just give people a hint of what it is that you've seen, you've witnessed, and a little bit maybe of what they might experience next Saturday. And then next Wednesday, we'll go much deeper into what they can experience on the following Saturday. Please.
One of the things that I've observed in myself, I've observed in others who have chronic pain or chronic conditions, and that is that there's a real underlying fear present. I didn't realize how much fear I had until I started to let go of it, until I started to release it. And I was able to do that because I felt safe enough to do it. I'd been hanging on to it for a very long time. It was creating sickness in my body. It was creating physical, mental, emotional, spiritual sickness in my body, in my mind, in my heart. And I really needed someone. I needed an environment. I needed a place that I could feel comfortable in, and people I could trust, that I felt, really had my best interests at heart. And once that happened and I began to release and let go of the underlying fear, it really set in motion a healing process for me. And because, Jimena and I have been through what we have been through personally, we understand what it takes in order for someone to feel comfortable enough, someone to feel safe enough to begin to let go of the pain and of the suffering, because we can become attached to it like we do everything else. And we become used to a certain, level of functioning in life. And we figure, I can do it. I'm hanging on. I don't feel good, but I'm doing okay. And I'm just going to keep going that way because it's working, And at the same time, we realize it's not working. I'm unhappy. I'm hurting. I know it can change. I know, So we want to provide you with that environment. We want to provide you with the tools, with the things that we have learned, share, what we have learned, and give you that love and the support, the compassion that is needed, the understanding, the space, in which you can begin to reveal and unfold what is underlying the chronic illness. Because there are many factors involved. It's not just one physical thing, that's going to happen, that's going to, heal you completely. It's not just one emotional thing or one thought, that you're going to let go of, but rather a combination of things that need to be addressed and that need to be looked at, that need to be brought to the surface in order for the deepest healing to occur. And it's really the beginning, of that healing journey. I mean, ultimately, it took me 6 months to get well. And I was so grateful for that. It may sound like a long time for some, but it's a short time when you have chronic sickness. So we need to be patient and loving with ourselves and have others do the same and listen to us.
Thank you, Cher. So very, very beautiful, very touching. And one of the things that you just mentioned that I notice with clients a lot, it's also true for myself, although I've made huge strides, is the being able to forgive ourselves. You said, you know, I had to learn to forgive myself. And acceptance of ourselves. Because Master Sha is not asking us to be perfect, but he is asking us to put forth perfect effort. That's all he's asking, is that you give it your best, not your 30%, because 30% isn't going to heal a chronic condition. But if you give your best, you know it. If you really give your best, you know it. You feel it, and what you will find is that you will find your true self. Because you're only seeing this much. But through this journey, this kind of journey that Cher and I are talking about, you get to see a bigger self. And if you keep going, you will see the bigness of who you really are. Who you truly are in your core and in your essence. And you will discover that it isn't your pain. You are not your pain. You are not your sickness. You are an amazing human being. And that's what we want to help you to discover. And the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field is the perfect place to do this, because it is the purest, most positive field of source. Source is the ultimate creator. The energy, the frequency, whatever you want to call it, that created you is here in this field. And it can heal you deeply if you let it, if you open your heart, and if you let it, if you've let that love in. So Cher recognized Master Sha, recognized who he was, opened her heart. He in turn opened his heart to her. A huge healing happened for her. Now Master Sha has made it possible for us through the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field to experience that pure love of the source. So join us. Join us next Wednesday. We will be back for a full hour with Cher. She needs to leave us now. But I want to thank her, and I want all of you to think about one thing. What both of us know is that people who have chronic conditions, they stop talking about them. Because nobody can help you. So there's no sense in talking about it. 1 out of 6 people in the US and 1 out of almost 2 people in Canada have a chronic condition. That means you know somebody, and you probably know many somebodies who have chronic conditions. We would love to be able to have them join us next Wednesday to hear about what we're going to do on April 16th. And it is my deepest desire that they hear in my story and that they hear in Cher's story the truth of what we're saying. And that they feel safe enough to join us and to start their healing journey on April 16th through the art of sound healing, a journey of wellness a journey to truly living a happier and healthier life. So share anything you'd like to say before you say goodbye to us.
First of all, thank you so much, Jimena, and everybody, for allowing me to share this evening. And finally, it takes a village. It takes that loving community to really give us the love, the support, everything that we need to really make the change that we want to see in our lives. And what a beautiful community we have here at the Vancouver Center. So I'm really, really looking forward to this event. I would love to see you there. We would love to be able to support you, your loved ones, those who you know could really benefit from the wisdom, from the knowledge, from being in the Tao calligraphy healing field, and from having a supportive, loving, and compassionate community to heal with. So I look forward to next week, next Wednesday, and to next Saturday, everybody. Hope you'll join us then.
Thank you, Cher. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us.